Coach Schmidt, when did you get settled? I mean, probably not settled yet,
Yeah.
but when did you get in the start room?
Been here about a week and a half now. So got in last Saturday. Was out on the road last week, and then just getting my feet wet. Just meeting the players. First time I met the players was on Tuesday morning. So still getting my feet wet with all that. But fired up to be here, man, down here in the South. And I've been on the road a little bit down here, and football is definitely king, and that's one of the reasons I came here.
Kind of take me through the process of Coach Arnett adding you to the staff and y'all's relationship.
Yeah, we had been in talks. Obviously, our relationship goes way back to our time at San Diego State, and we've been close. We've been loyal to each other and all that. And I think a lot of that revolves around why we click on the field and our personalities match. And I think that's not only what brought our friendship close together back there in San Diego, but I think that's what gave him the confidence that I can come in here and do the job that he needs to be done.
You're coaching tight ends and offensive tackles?
Yes, sir.
And I was talking to one of your transfers announced today, Rylan Godey, and he made mention when his visit this past weekend that he was the first tight end hosted here in about 4.5 years.
No doubt.
Talk about that dynamic and bringing that position back into the offense.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge challenge this offseason, and going through our roster and seeing what guys can fit in there. We're still in the works with building that room. It will be a challenge going into year one here. I think Rylan's going to add a lot of depth to us and a lot of experience in this league that we're really going to be able to rely on him and the other guys that we're starting to transition. And we just had brief talks with them this week, and we're starting to transition a couple guys on the roster. And hopefully by when we come back on Monday, we'll have a little better idea on how that group's going to look heading into spring here.
Who are some of those guys that may make?
They got Clayton Harmon, and then the young freshman Ellis. He's been talked to as well. So I think that group's still forming as we speak. We'll have a better idea by the end of next week when we start getting a little more detail in everything we're doing offensively.
Ellis is an early graduate. You got some other offensive tackles. You got a very experienced group back.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hugh Sharp was the only offensive lineman not back.
Yep.
You know, what's it like for you? Obviously, there's a transition everywhere, but how beneficial is it for you to come in and have guys like Nick Jones, Cam Jones, Percy Lewis, and all those guys?
No doubt, and it's going to be a competitive spring. That's what's great about it, and they're going to feel from both me and Coach Friend. They're going to feel probably a little different coaching philosophy and stuff like that. And most of that philosophy is going to change because of what we're asking them to do, and it's going to be wide open competition there, and we got a couple of options. So when you got options as coaches, that's always good. And the other thing is, if we do want to play big, we're going to be able to do some stuff in personnel grouping and stuff where maybe you have more than 2 tackles out there.
Obviously, a sad situation and a new situation with Coach Leach passing away and Coach Arnett taking over. There's some familiarity here with some coaches, but also some newness. What's kind of your thoughts coming into this program? You've known Coach Arnett for a while, but just to be part of his first staff and try to continue the legacy that Coach Leach built here.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what Coach Arnett has done and given me this opportunity. Now, I know we're close and all that, but he wouldn't have hired me if I was not a qualified coach. I've developed players that he knows really well, and he's seen them come in from the recruiting process, the way I developed them and set them on to the next level. He has seen that firsthand. He has hired me to come in and do a job, and I respect all the guys that were here and what Coach Leach has meant, because being out on the West Coast at Washington State, we would run into him all the time, and the legacy he has left here and the winning tradition is something that we look to carry on